Hello, everyone. You're tuning in to the Procedures Models broadcasting session. Now, right now, we are actually doing a very, very special interview. I have my really good friend here, Boone from Sony Records. I know that all of you guys have been dying to have me to interview him, so here he goes. Jay, tell me a little bit about what you do here and how's the music industry here in New York City?
Well, obviously this is the mecca for the music industry, and this is where it all takes place here. And at Sony, we're always looking for new talent, and rolling out records almost every week. And it's a tough music climate, and has been since the advent of the MP3. But we're getting through it and finding new ways of monetizing the music and building brands and breaking records.
So I mean, basically, right now you've just been very busy with the events and.
Yeah, well, very busy breaking records. I mean, usually 3 or 4 records on my plate at any given time. So we're always, we're out there always trying to get records spun, get them broken, sell them, and make hits.
So what are some of the advice that, like, let's say for an aspiring artist that are looking to break into the industry, what are some of the advice that you would want to give?
I think there's a couple of things. One is be true to yourself. I think that's the first thing. I think the second thing is it's no longer do you send a demo tape and we hear the demo and it's like, oh, we got to sign this artist. It's generally now you have to build yourself, you have to build your brand, you have to do your legwork. Just like any other industry, you have to really put your time in and put your work in, and generally we'll find you. I mean, if you're really buzzing in your market, and be it LA or Dallas, Atlanta, Chicago, and you really have that market on lock, and you're doing the proper showcases, and you're talking to the proper tastemakers and people that break records in those markets, we'll find it. We'll find you.
So do you think it's true about, like, it's really about who you know, or?
Definitely. I mean, it definitely is. But at the end of the day, I always say this, and it starts and ends with the music. So you can know, you can know Diddy, you can know Clive Davis, you can know Barry Weiss, but if you don't have the right music, you're done. So
Okay.
it starts and ends with the music, and I'm a firm believer in that. So you can, as much as it is who you know, it's the talent that you do have.
So what you say now, let's say for instance, when an artist already produced their own song, they're recorded and everything, what you say, what is the best, advice that they should do? Should they keep it to themselves and waiting, or should they go ahead and expose that to everybody?
Absolutely. Start out small, your market, and really start to own your market. And whether that's club performances or talking to the radio station, trying to get your record played on radio, getting it to, like I said, the tastemakers that can help and really help establish you and help build your brand and your market. But really, it's about the promotions that you do in your marketplace.
Okay, so it's not true when they say that, oh, okay, now that I just have this new song, I want to keep it, I want to wait until it's perfect.
No.
There's no such thing as.
Well, I mean, like, you're always going to be your own worst critic, and it might not be. I mean, obviously, you want to come out with the best representation of yourself, and certainly, quality is important. However, sometimes you can be your own. I would play for a few people, and if you feel like it's not to where it needs to be, but you're getting good feedback from those people, then go and run with it, because you're always your own worst critic.
Okay, so you're saying once when someone is actually done writing their song and that they're able to record it professionally, if they have an opportunity to even perform anywhere, then
Absolutely.
You say that.
Absolutely, I would take it. I mean, whatever you can do to build your brand and build awareness about your record, yourself, your career. I mean, that's my advice to them.
Would you say nowadays to become a good artist, you have to be your own producer? You have to write your own music. Is that a requirement still? Or?
No, it's not. It's not. But I mean, it's always advantageous to write your own music or produce your own music because actually that's how you keep most of your money. So, I mean, if you have somebody else write and produce, then you start to get into publishing aspects, and if the record does blow up and becomes a hit record, then you're giving away rights to that record because you didn't write it or you didn't produce it, you just performed it. So there's a big difference, So if you're a writer and a producer, and you're blessed enough to have that and the talent to make records and to sing on records or rap or whatever you do, perform your records, well then you're ahead of the game because most people can't do all three.
So do you feel as any aspiring artist, they would need a team to help them to support that in terms like, do you think the first thing, what should they do? Should they go get a manager?
Well,
Should
I
they
mean,
go?
a manager is. I mean, listen, we always call it, like a lot of times, especially in urban music, it's a lot of times it's homeboy management is what we call it, and sometimes that can be more of a disservice than something good for you because, what happens is you have somebody that doesn't know really what they're doing, and sometimes that can get in the way of your success. So, and no one is ever going to have your best interest involved more so than yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So if this person isn't a real manager and isn't someone that can really bring value to the table, I would watch out. I mean, and he can be your friend, and he or she may mean well, but that doesn't mean that they can get the job done.
Gotcha.
So I would be very selective on your team and who you put around you and what their abilities are and what their skill sets are and what their abilities aren't. I mean, you have to be able to identify that as well in picking your team.
Okay. So now, like, do you guys ever host like talent events where it's like, a New York show, you guys may pre-select certain artists to come out? I mean, like, how do you guys normally scout nowadays?
Well, I mean, really, I mean, with the way the internet has blown up, and it used to be where an A&R guy would have to go and travel into all these markets and really dig in and really, really dig in because there was no internet. Now with the internet, it's kind of easy to find these guys, to connect with them, to get a contact on them, to meet up with them. It's easy, obviously, via the MP3 to get music back and forth. So it's a much easier process than it was, say, 10 years ago. As far as doing like showcases or to try to find talent, not really.
People don't do that no more.
No, it's really not. It's really not something that we do, and most labels, I don't think that's how they're acquiring their talent. Mm-hmm. It's really more about, if you have a buzz in your market, we're going to know about it. That's what we do. So if you've got your market buzzing, we're gonna know.